quite a bit of playing time here this year, making her debut. Landry Miller on the service line. That's going to be off the arms of number 4, JC Kralick, and that's going to be an ace serve for Miller. Grateful again to Alexis Narmi, who my silent partner up here, running the electronic show so we can bring you the game. Miller, long ball, 8 Arides today. It's going to be a side out to the Panthers. Substitution on the floor. We have number 11, Aaliyah Calvin, a senior, and number 12, Cadley Bailey, a freshman, into the game for the Panthers. Number 12, Bailey, is going to serve long. Turn the ball right back over to the Saints. Another double substitution on the floor. We have number 1, Lily Crone, into the game, and we also have Missy Evzik into the game for the Saints. Lily Crone back to serve. Ball's going to be passed. Set weak side, a nice push. Crone to Monahan, to Bonet. That ball's landing in. That's a kill for Georgie Bonet. Key for the Saints and their success, not only tonight, but throughout the rest of the season, is to make the balls playable. Keep the other team playing the ball. Let them make the first error. Crone with the serve. That ball's going to be into the net, just like I said. You give a team enough chances, and they are going to make errors. Do the little things. Be consistent. Crone back to serve again for the Saints. Set middle. Dug up by Monahan. Set outside to Wisak. And that ball's just out. That'll be a side out to the Panthers. Number, I believe it's number 5, Brooklyn McKinney, a senior. Serving, and that ball's into the net. Give the Panthers another point. So Saints lead by 1, 5-4, and I forget you have the score visible all the time, so I really don't need to say that incessantly like I do on Facebook. Monahan with the pass. Missy Evzik with the big swing. This ball's going to be dug. Kept alive. Free balled over. Miller with the pass. Set back to Bonet. Dug up. Set back. Monahan. Crone outside to Wisak, off the block, but kept alive. It's going to be tipped over. Missy Evzik with a big statement out of the middle. Good for Missy. She anticipated well, saw that she was going to bring it over, and got those big paws up in the air. Love seeing her 6'4" out there blocking. Lydia Sherrill back in the game. Georgie Bonet back to serve. That ball's in the corner for an ace serve from junior Georgie Bonet. Georgie plays a lot of volleyball, gets a lot of practice in the off season. 7-4, Saints ahead. Back to serve again is Bonet. Ball set weak side. It's going to be free balled over by number 10, Kobe Bailey. Set middle to Evzik, and Evzik off the arms of the libero for a kill. Evzik making the statement right away. We had a little bit of a change from what we saw on Tuesday night. Missy playing at the beginning, a little bit of gap last couple of weeks. Now she's back in the front. Served by Bonet. It's going to be playable. Bonet gets it weak side for Wisak. Wisak off the hands of number 12, JC Hansen. Actually 12, Cadley Bailey, excuse me. Set weak side, Wisak again, and that ball is going to be in, according to Jeremy Petrie on the line. I'm not sure that the Creston bench liked it, but not too much of resistance, so it was a close ball. Jeremy's reliable. I'm sure he can see like an owl, so we'll call it in. Georgie Bonet to serve again. Ball set, back row. Dug up off the arms of Bonet. Bonet will take a seat. Ellie Monahan, the libero. Doing a great job this year. Back in the game. St. Albert passing 2 with Miller and Monahan, and that ball is going to be out by a few inches. So it'll go back to the Saints. Kylie Wiesek back to serve. Evzik, hands up in the air, ready to block at the net. That ball trickles over for a really ugly ace serve. I don't think I even told Alexis that they're going to start allowing net serves in tennis. So no more let serves. Ugly prevails, lots of aces. And that ball was out by inches. So Wiesek will take a seat. Ava Wagner, the sophomore, has been getting some minutes this year. Defensive specialist at 5'5", will come into the game. Ball served by the Panthers, set outside to Miller. Miller off the arms of the libero. That'll be a kill for Miller. Number 1, Keely Cohen, senior, the libero. Double substitution. Caitlin Hendricks and Ella Klusman into the game for the Saints. Lily Crone and Missy Evzik will take a seat. 12-6, Saints in the lead here in set 1. Ball served by Klusman, set back row, off the top of the tape, dug up by Miller. Klusman sets it back to Cheryl. Cheryl gets dug, played by Monahan. Middle, they're gonna call a lift. So it'll be point St. Albert. You might notice they're in pink tonight. It's the Pink Out game, supporting cancer awareness. Ella Klusman back to serve again. Saints lead 13-6. Ball pushed outside, actually it's just gonna be a down ball. Wagner to Klusman, set middle to Hendricks. Hendricks, the lefty, gets dug, tip over, Klusman to Monahan to Miller. Miller gets dug. It's going to be tight. Lydia Sherrill paying attention, anticipating the ball come floating over the net, puts it down for a solo block. That'll be a timeout called by Teresa Arkfeld, the head coach for Creston. Creston obviously came a long way. It's quite a drive. Seems to get shorter every time I make it though. Creston again coming in at 2-20. Tough schedule, Hawk 10, always competitive. St. Albert played at Bedford this year. It was the first 1A team tournament that they've been to in years. I don't ever remember them playing in a 1A tournament as long as I've been up here. So that was a nice change when since we're always playing 2A, 3A, and 4A schools. More games you play, the better prepared you are for postseason. Always a bonus. St. Albert ready, both teams actually ready, back on the floor. 14-6, Saints in the lead here in set 1. Ella Klusman back to serve. That ball's gonna, probably would have been out, but thankfully for the Saints, Creston played it, and that ball's gonna go in and float into the net on the third contact. Point Saints. Klusman, the last of a line of Klusmans that have attended St. Albert. Serve again. Ball into the block, and that's going to be called a double hit on the set. So point St. Albert. Substitution on the floor, number 13. Sure looks like 18, maybe it's 13. J.C. Hansen into the game. Oh, that's 18, and they don't have an 18 on their roster, so I can't tell you who that, but that was a side out on the errant serve. Substitution on the floor, number 3, Caitlin Bruce into the game, defensive specialist for Creston. Serve is good, pass by Monahan. Set outside to Miller, off the block, set up, set weak side. Off the hands, dug up by Monahan, set back to Cheryl, and that ball's just long. Point Panthers. number 3, Caitlin Bruce, ready to serve again. Monahan with the pass. Klusman sets it pretty far out to Cheryl, but she knocks it down. Cheryl paying attention. Klusman gives a dose of their own medicine. So Creston was going to try the little dump shot. Klusman says, all right, let's see how you like it. Puts it in the deep corner, and it lands for a point. Substitution on the floor, number 4, J.C. Kralik into the game. Ellie Monahan back to serve for the Saints. Ball's going to be played up, set back, weak side. Ball played up by Klusman. Then Monahan gets it outside to Bonet off the block, and that'll be a kill for Georgie Bonet. You might hear me say weak side. Sometimes that's just another way to describe right side attack. Normally, a lot of teams set their power outside on the left side attack. Weak side is really a right side attack. Swing on the outside. That ball's into the net. It'll be a point for Creston. Libero switch for Creston, and number 13, J.C. Hansen back to serve. Miller with the overpass, tipped up, but Caitlin Hendricks gets a hand on it, sets it outside to Bonet. Bonet with the reach. We're gonna have a back row attack from Monahan. It's dug up by Hansen. Attack middle, off the arms of Klusman for a point for the Panthers. That was a mighty swing there by Brooklyn McKinney, a senior at 5'11". It's a great swing. Number 13, Hansen back to serve. Wagner to Monahan. Bonet with the short free ball. Set middle. That ball's dug up by Monahan. Miller to Hendricks. And Hendricks' reaction gets a good return on that ball. Great hands again by Hendricks, and that's going to be a lift called on the pass. So that'll be a point for the Saints. Saints lead 19-10. Hansen's going to take a seat. The libero, Keely Cohen, back in the game. Here in set 1, Miller with the serve. That's going to be an overpass. Klusman to Monahan. Bonet takes a step over. Nice transition. Wiesack and Hendricks both aggressive at the net, but Hendricks in the net. Caitlin, the thing about Caitlin, she's always going to be aggressive, and that's fantastic. She's always aggressive. She does tend to get a few more net calls than everyone else. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but it probably all ends up a wash in the end. That's going to be a missed serve by number 12, Cadley Bailey. Substitution on the floor. Number 1, Lily Crone into the game, and Missy Evzik into the game for the Saints. Crone with the serve. Dug up. Set weak side. Dug by Crone. It's going to be an overpass. Number 5, Brooklyn McKinney, the senior. She's listed as a setter, but she's 5'11", tallest player, actually second tallest player on their team. Ball served just long. It's going to go back to St. Albert. Georgie Bonet back to serve. Georgie, again, plays multiple sports up here. Tennis, bowling, softball, volleyball. She stays busy all year round. That's good touch by several of the Saints. Panthers ready to serve. Into the net, and that's going to be a side-out point for the Saints. And I'm going to have to give apology here because the whole time that I've been saying Brooklyn McKinney, it's actually Doran Pop. So my apologies to any listeners that might be listening from Creston. 5 and a 6 look pretty similar from up here. It's red on black. It's a pretty slight difference. So one's 5'11" and one's 6'1". It's a little difficult to make that 2-inch differentiation without any other physical determiners, so my apologies. Kylie Wisak with the long ball. Be a side out for the Panthers. Double substitution. Number 9, Zoe Van Devender back into the game. The other jersey number is number 18. There is no 18 on the roster, so I don't know who that is, and I apologize. Ball is served. Monahan with the pass. Lily Crone gets it out to Miller. Miller off the top of the tape, dug up. Set weak side. It's going to be free. It's not going to be free balled over. That was where it was headed, but didn't quite make it over the net. Point Saints. Substitution, Caitlin Hendricks back in the game for Crone, and Ella Klusman back in the game for Missy Evzik. Between Ella, Ellie, and Ava, it's a struggle for me at the end of the day to get it all straight. Klusman with the serve, set outside, dug up by Klusman. Monahan runs it down. Lydia Sherrill with the big swing, dug up. The libero gets a touch on it, but sends it under the net. It'll be a point for the Saints, and that will be set 1. So 25-14. Saints win set 1. I would say their strength for certain was that they did not come out and make a lot of errors. They kept it consistent. They just made the other team play the ball. And that's going to be key to their success as they progress here through the rest of the season. If you take a look at the website, you'll see the schedule for the rest of the weekend. It looks like varsity football playing at Sydney tomorrow night, 7 p.m. There will be video. The link is on stalbertsportsfan.com. JV is going to be at the AL tournament on Saturday. And apparently they're probably showing the huddle. I'm not sure. It says live video, but I'm going to guess it's going to be video only for the day. You can catch that also on the St. Albert Sports Fan website. Swimmers are going to be at Johnston Sunday. St. Peter's Oktoberfest at St. Albert, starting with Mass at St. Albert at 10 a.m. So key in on that. Next week, volleyball ends up being at Lewis Central on Tuesday, and then senior night on Thursday against Atlantic. That game will also be broadcast, and it should be on YouTube. I believe Alexis Narmi will lead the charge. I do have a senior, so I will probably catch you just a little bit before game time. But Alexis will keep things going until I get back up here. Both teams back on the floor, ready to start set 2 again. I always believe that Iowa has the advantage. We get to play 3 out of 5. You go to Nebraska, they play 2 out of 3. I feel like they make an hour-and-a-half trip, and then they win in 2. It's a pretty short night. So I always felt like we were fortunate here in Iowa to be able to play 3 out of 5. All right, Panthers with first serve tonight. Number 3, Caitlin Bruce. Set back, Miller with the swing. It's dug up. It's going to be free balled over. It's going to be short. Monahan gets there, though. Set outside to Hendricks with the big swing off the ceiling, and Panthers couldn't quite get there in time, so that point will go to the Saints. Miller's going to step back to serve. Substitution on the floor, number 4, J.C. Kralik, senior. 5'10" into the game for the Panthers. Miller with serve duties. Set outside, off the top of the block, dug up by Monahan. Klusman sets weak side to Bonet. Bonet off the block, and that'll be down for a kill for Georgie Bonet. 2-0 Saints lead early here in set 2. I believe the score was 14. First set was 25-14 in favor of the Saints. Ball's going to be tipped over. They're going to call 4 hits on the Panthers, so that point will go to the Saints. Sometimes it's real slight. You don't know whether the block touches it or not. We have some pretty good officials tonight, so we're going to trust their judgment. Miller, again with a long ball. She must feel empowered tonight. Hopefully she Should dial it down just a little bit. Panthers with the serve. Set outside. Bonet with a big swing. Big jump, big swing right off the side of the block and down for a kill. Substitution on the floor. Hendricks and Klusman are going to come out. Missy Evzik and Lily Crone are going to enter the game for the Saints. Saints going to be led by Crone at the service line. It's going to be free balled over. Monahan to Crone. Bonet coming in for the quick. Ends up getting blocked. Great dig by Monahan. Good job by Evzik to take a swing. Tipped over by Wiesek. That ball's going to be dug by Crone. And a little confusion on who was taking the third contact, and always hate to see that, but Coach Lance out there with a contingency plan for the next time around. Number 12, I believe, Cadley Bailey back to serve. Ball passed by Monahan, sent outside to Crone. Wiesek with the kill just inside the sideline. And the student section dying to get off those bleachers, but Mr. Noon keeping things under control over there. 5-2 Saints lead here in set 2. Bonet back to serve. And that ball's going to be out. A lot of strength on the St. Albert team tonight. That's going to be Doran Pop back to serve for Panthers, and she's going to go in the net. So we got one team serving out, we got one team serving in the net. And it seems to be back and forth on the score. 6-3, Saints lead. Kylie Wiesek ready to serve for the Saints. And that ball would have gone out if it wouldn't have been touched by number 1, Keely Cohen. So maybe a little adjustment here. Saints in pink tonight again because it's Cancer Awareness Night. And that's going to be off the arms of number 4, JC Kralik, and that'll be an ace serve for the Saints. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Teresa Arkfeld says, I want to talk it over. Saints going to go into the timeout leading 8-3 if you're just joining us. Saints won the first game 25-14. Creston comes in tonight 2-20. Saints come in 14-18. A lot of good things coming up at St. Albert. I was looking at the website earlier, and I noticed that for a couple of things, coaching authorization course, last chance to register is actually tonight. In case you're thinking about coaching for the winter months or the spring. Also, just rounded down on the post-prom fundraiser, the Krispy Kreme Donut Night. So you just go to the website, you buy your coupon for the donuts there, and you buy one, and they'll donate $7.50 to the SA Post-Prom. So take a look at that. Back out on the court, ready to serve, Kylie Wiesek. Ready to go for the Saints. Ball passed by Cohen. It's going to be free balled over, and that ball's going to be passed out of bounds, and that'll be a point for the Saints. It's always frustrating as a coach when you make errors. If you make aggressive errors, it's a little more forgiving. It's a lot more forgiving, actually, than making passive errors. Wiesek back to serve again. Cohen with the pass. Set weak side. That's going to be landing in the corner for a kill for number 11, Aaliyah Calvin, an outside hitter and a senior at 5'10". Substitution on the floor, Ava Wagner into the game. Kylie Wiesek is going to take a seat. Wagner, a sophomore. Ellie Monahan, a sophomore. Lily Crone, junior. Lydia Landry, seniors. Missy Evzik, junior. So you got a range. It's going to be nice reflex action by Monahan. And tip over. Nobody can get to it in time, so Ellie Monahan all over the floor trying to keep the ball alive. Again, a little bit of a new rotation tonight, so probably everybody's just getting used to it a little bit. 9-5, Saints in the lead. Serve is going to be ruled long, barely, by number 10, Colby Bailey, and she's going to come out of the game. Ella Klusman in the game. Caitlin Hendricks in the game. Klusman back, ready to serve for the Saints. And that ball's going to be out. 10-6. Saints lead double substitution. Our mystery player number 18 for the Panthers, as well as number 9, Zoe Van Dievender, a sophomore, into the game. Ball served, passed over, off the arms of Monahan, out of bounds. Well, a little bit of a sloppy back and forth going on right now. Saints trying to get back in a rhythm. Server is number 10, Colby Bailey. Actually, I'm sorry, no, that's our mystery player, number 18. That ball's going to go off some arms and belong to the Panthers. Coach Lance wants to talk it over. Saints leading 10-8. A little bit of hesitation, a little indecisiveness on the floor. Better two people that go after it instead of one, so they'll eventually talk. Student section all in pink tonight for cancer awareness. Glad the memo reached everybody. Got a decent sized crowd here tonight. Always nice to see so many Saints and Falcon supporters at our events. This is Terry Miller and Alexis Narmi bringing you the game. Just so you have some audio tonight, we only have 4 home games. This is 3 out of the 4. Our last one will be next Thursday. It'll be senior night against Atlantic. It'll be your last chance to see your Saints in their home gym unless we host some of the district games. Serve from the Panthers. Pass by Monahan. Set middle to Hendricks, and that's off the arms of number 6, Doran Pop, and that will be a Saints point. So, beneficial timeout by Coach Lance. Gets us side out for the Saints. Lydia Sherrill takes the seat. Monahan with the serve and the overpass. Hendricks takes a swing, dug up. Down ball. Dug by Monahan, set back to Georgie Bonet. That's going to be dug and land in right beside Ava Wagner. And that'll be a Panthers point. 11-9, Saints in the lead, but their lead is shortening. Number 3, Caitlin Bruce, the server. Miller with the contact. It goes out of bounds. Point Panthers. Caitlin Bruce, the server, is a senior. Defensive specialist. Registered at 5'8" on the roster. A ball passed by Wagner into the net. Ella Klusman can't run it down before it hits the bottom of the tape, so that'll be a point for the Panthers. So all tied up at 11 after a pretty big lead early from the Saints. Bruce ready to serve again. And play stopped. Mrs. Keenan, our publications teacher, was trying to get some pictures, and the R1 made her move before she would continue play. That was a missed serve by Bruce, so side out point to the Saints. Number 4 into the game, J.C. Kralik, a senior for the Panthers. Lander Miller back to serve for the Saints. That ball passed by Pop, set back. Oh, big block. It's going to be passed around and 3-balled over. Monahan to Klusman to Hendricks on the 3. It's going to be dug up, and she's going to be in the net. Pop's going to be in the net. She gets called in the net. Just have to tell you, I have a pretty good line on it right here on the 50-yard line, and that was a good call. 13-11, Saints in the lead. Miller ready to serve for the Saints here in set 2. That Ball will be passed by the libero, Cohen. Set outside to Pop, and that's a power swing by number 6, Doran Pop. She's a senior, again, 6'1". She's an outside middle. She's pretty mobile. JC Hansen with the serve. Monahan with the pass. Set outside to Wiesack, and Wiesack plants one right about the 13-foot line for a kill. Lily Crone coming into the game for Kaylin Hendricks. Missy Evzik in for Ella Klusman. 14-12. Saints lead by 2. Lily Crone ready to serve. Ball passed by Pop. Set weak side. Nothing's going to go in the net. Point Saints. If you're just joining us, Saints did win the first set, 25-14. Saints starting to get engaged here. Crone with this next serve. And the setter stumbled when she set it. Kind of went into the net and under the net, and the whistle blew, so that'll be a Saints point. 16-12. Crone with the serve. Pop. Setter does a really decent job of trying to keep that ball playable. She's back row, so she can't take it over. She can't jump and contact the ball above the net and take it over, because she's a back row player. And it's called for a double hit. Crone with the serve. Kind of passed around. It's going to be free balled over. Monahan to Crone. To middle to Missy Evzik. And that ball's going to be out. So it'll be a point. Panthers, double substitution. We have number 11, Aaliyah Calvin, into the game, as well as number 12, Cadley Bailey. Cadley, a freshman, listed as a setter and at 5'7". So Bailey with the serve, Miller with the pass, set outside to Wiesack, and kind of a mishit off the hands that's going to be into the net for a Panther point. 17-14, Saints in the lead here in set 2. Bailey with the serve again, passed by Miller, set weak side to Bonet, off the block and down for a kill for Georgie Bonet. Lydia Sherrill into the game. Ellie Monahan taking a seat for just a moment. The libero gets to play essentially 6 rotations on the floor. She may serve for one of the 2 players she subs in for, but she doesn't have to serve for any, but she can't serve for both. That's going to be an error, Panther error, so that'll be a point for the Saints. Bonet with the serve, Saints leading 19-14 here in set 2. Backside to Pop, and that's going to trickle off the net and down right near Lily Crone and the sideline. Student section heckling a little bit. That's what students do, all in a friendly nature, of course. Pop with the serve, set outside to Sherrill. Sherrill with the down ball. Set outside, off the hands of the block and out of bounds. Mrs. Keenan gets in on the action. She passes the ball. I don't know if you see her flexing her muscle down there. It's awesome. Again, Mrs. Keenan, one of the teachers up here, she's actively involved in the student body. Yet another benefit, having faculty heavily involved in the students' lives. Monahan with the pass, back set to Wiesack, and Wiesack off the block and down for a point for the Saints. 20-16. Saints trying to pull away here in set 2. We're up early, then the lead trickled away, became a tie ball game, and now we're up again by a few, and that ball's going to be out of bounds off the hands of Kylie Wiesack. It'll be a side out point for the Panthers. Number 13, JC Hansen, back into the game for the Panthers. Kylie Wiesack's going to take a seat, and Ava Wagner on the end of the game. Monahan with the pass. Set middle to Sherrill. Sherrill with a big accelerating step. That was great acceleration on her approach. Ball goes just a little out of bounds. Lydia came to St. Albert in elementary school, and she was so quiet. And she's really become a factor here on the volleyball team. Great leader. She was our homecoming queen this year. So have a big family. Glad they're here. Always a delight to be around. Substitution on the floor, Missy Ebzik is going to come out. Lily Crone is going to come out. Ella Klusman in the game, as well as Caitlin Hendricks. Klusman with the serve. Cohen with the pass. Set outside, accelerated. That's going to be off the hands of the block and out of bounds for a point for the Panthers. Double substitution. We have mystery player number 18 as well as number 9, Zoe Van Devender, is how I was told it was said, so I hope I'm saying it correctly, into the game. The ball played by Miller to Monahan, back to Miller. Miller with a swing, dug up, set middle, out of bounds. That's going to be no call on a touch. No call on a touch from any of the players. Creston wanted a touch, but neither line judge nor the R1, who was really right in front of the play, made a call for a touch, so that'll be St. Albert point. Monahan with the serve. And that'll be deep ball played by Monahan. Set back to Bonet. Bonet off the top of the block, dug up, set outside. And that ball's going to be dug by Monahan. Klusman, Bonet pushed back on about the 15-foot line, so chose to pass it over. Weak side attack dug up by Monahan. Set outside to Miller. Miller with a kind of a roll shot in the middle. Set outside. That's going to be out of bounds by about 6 inches. That'll be St. Albert point. Ellie Monahan back to serve again for the Saints. 23-19 here in set 2. Good pass. Hit out of the middle. That ball's going to be wide as well. That'll be a point for the Saints. So Ellie Monahan serving for set point here in set 2. Ellie has a really strong serve. Rears way back. Wagner with a touch on the hands. Monahan runs it down like a champ. It's going to be dug up by Klusman. Monahan gets it to Miller. Miller with a roll shot in the middle. Dumped over. Miller plays it up. Good anticipation there. Miller down the line. It's going to be, that's a double hit. And she is, in fact, going to get called for that double hit. And that is set point. So 25-19, the score of set number 2. St. Albert is going to lead 2 sets to none. Of course, best 3 out of 5 is how we play in Iowa. Tournament days, when on Saturdays, oftentimes it's 2 out of 3, but we will go to 25, and then the last one, if necessary, will be to 15. I mentioned a number of things here about the website, and as I was looking at them at the website, I was actually just shocked at how much we actually have on the site. We have access to all of course, our YouTube and our Facebook pages. We even have a Venmo account in case you wanted to donate, make it easy. You can do a memorial donation, have articles posted all the time that come out in the paper about the things that our students, sports, extracurricular activities are doing. Even one for the alumni. I love it that they have Carrie Ashley doing a great job. The alumni information, you can actually click and update your family's information with St. Albert. So lots of great stuff on the website. Check it out if you haven't. Got the school calendar. Just a lot of great stuff. So again, Friday night, tomorrow night, we have varsity football at Sydney, 7 o'clock. It'll be live video as well. Saturday, the JV volleyball is participating at the AL tournament, 9 a.m. and that will be a huddle video, I believe, and it won't have audio, but you'll see all the action from above. Swimming is going to be at Johnston at 12:30 p.m. Don't forget Sunday's St. Peter's Oktoberfest at St. Albert, starting with Mass here at St. Albert at 10 a.m. We've got the whole week schedule for next week up as well. Make sure you take a look at that. Got all our sponsors. We appreciate all our sponsors at St. Albert. Sports fan, if you're in need of services or products, take a look at that first. Make sure we don't have some friends and you get the friends and family discount here at St. Albert. Both teams out on the floor are ready to play set 3. St. Albert took sets 1 and 2 with a score of 25-14 and 25-19. Lydia Sherrill back to serve to start the action. Sherrill getting the sign from Coach Lance where she wants it to be served. That ball's going to be played up by Sherrill, set outside to Miller. Miller accelerates, gets it off. Nice block by Caitlin Hendricks. Again, great anticipation. I would not say that as I've watched St. Albert over the course of the season that has either been a strength or a weakness. Some days it's on, some days it's off, but tonight it really seems to be that their anticipation skills are on. So that helps so much at the net. Back set. Sherrill with a nice dig. Back set to Bonet. Bonet, Doug. Played outside. It's going to be free balled over, and that ball's going to land in the corner area. Sherrill can't quite run it down. So Sherrill's going to come out. Monahan, the libero, is going to come in. And Panthers, number 13, J.C. Hansen, is going to be serving. And that was a great power serve by Hansen. That is not her normal serve. That had a little extra on it. And it was pretty much just a top spin to the floor. Monahan, again, has trouble with that ball, and I can understand why. I feel like Hansen has just said, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can. I got nothing to lose. That one's a little higher, more manageable. Monahan plays that up, sets outside to Bonet. Bonet gets Doug, set middle. That ball's going to be off the arms of Monahan and out of bounds for another Panther point. So Panthers up 4-1 here off the great serving from J.C. Hansen. Hansen serving again. That's off the arms. Dug up. Great job by Ella Klusman to follow that ball off the basket. Great anticipation. Bonet with the pass. Klusman sends it to the corner. They managed to keep it playable. And that ball is a free ball to the corner. Monahan to Klusman, back to Bonet. Bonet gets Doug. This time Klusman with the first contact. Monahan over to Bonet again. Bonet the tip. And they were all spread out on defense. Staying wide. Bonet saw it and put it right behind the block. Number 7, Kylie Wiesack in for Ava Wagner. Miller back to serve for the Saints. Ball dumped over by the setter, and it worked. Wiesack was not quite able to get that ball played up high enough for somebody to contact. Double substitution on the Panther side, number 11 and number 12 into the game. Number 11 is Aaliyah Calvin, a senior, outside hitter at 5'10". Number 12 is Cadley Bailey, a freshman. Bailey's the server. Miller with the pass. Klusman sends it out to Wiesack. Wiesack gets Doug. Set, weak side, that ball doesn't clear the net. That'll be a St. Albert point. Double substitution for the Saints. Lily Crone in for Caitlin Hendricks and Missy Evzik in for Ella Klusman. Crone back to serve. And that's going to be passed. Set middle, off the block. Miller with the dig. Crone sets it outside. She's going to get called for a double hit. That's one of the things about setters. You can always tell it's hard. It's a harder skill than it looks to have that ball come off your hands still every single time. Served by Pop, and that ball is salvaged. Missy Evzik puts it over. Ball's going to be set back outside, off the block, and down for a kill. Doran Pop leading the charge for the Panthers on the service line. Doran really shining early in her net game. Back set to Bonet. Bonet into the block, dug up by Krohn. Missy Evzik is going to get called for a double hit. Somehow Evzik, the setter took the first hit, so Missy happened to be under where the ball was going to be and tried to put it up for her friend. But as I said, it's a tough skill. Miller with the pass. Krohn tries to dump it over. It's kept alive. It's going to be free-balled into the net for a St. Albert point. So that was really a gift for the Saints. Ellie Monahan coming out for a moment while Lydia Sherrill comes into the front row. We got Georgie Bonet on the service line for the Saints. Pop with the pass, and that ball's going to trickle over off the tape and be a point for the Panthers. Bonet's going to come out. Monahan's going to come back in. Panthers lead 9-4 here in set 3. Number 10, that ball is sailing out from number 10, Colby Bailey Jr. Definitely ate her Wheaties today. Wisak back to serve for the Saints. And that ball's just wide. Point Panthers. Substitution on the floor, Ava Wagner in for Kylie Wisak. We have mystery player number 18 in for the Panthers, and number 9, Zoe Van Devender, into the game. Serve is passed by Monahan. Back set to Evzik. Evzik gets dug. Goes at middle. It's going to be a tip. Miller with the touch, but it's still going to be a kill for the Panthers. 11-5. Panthers in the lead here in set 3. Saints are up 2 games to none. Miller with the save. Wagner gets it over. Ball outside, good touch, set outside, Miller gets there, goes line, it's dug, sets outside on about the 12-yard line, or 12-foot line. I'm not sure that was over, and finally I think the R2 signaled to the R1 and said, I don't think so. So 4 hits was called, double substitution on the St. Albert side. Klusman into serve, Missy Evzik will take a seat, Krohn will take a seat, and Caitlin Hendricks into the lineup for the Saints. Klusman at the back line. Ball free-balled over with hands. Wagner with the pass, set middle to Hendricks. Passed up, and that's going to be a double hit call on the setter. The times where she's had to sprint to the net to try to intercept the ball have not fared well for her on the hand call off the set. So 11-7, Saints trail. Klusman with the serve. It's going to be tight, and that ball's not going to clear on the third contact. That'll be Saints point. Teresa Arkfeld is going to call a timeout for the Panthers. Saints trailing 8-11, but on the charge to get back here in this game. Saints won sets 1 and 2, 25-14 and 25-19. If you're just joining us or missed the first part of the action, Creston came in with a 2-20 record overall, a 14-18 record for the Saints. If you missed the national anthem, it was sung by Grace Julian and William Tallman, both seniors here at St. Albert. They did a fantastic job, both involved in multiple activities. Grace in cheer and also vocal music, obviously, and then William Tallman. He is a bowler and a tennis player, an avid chess player. He is quite a sharp guy. Ella Klusman at the service line to start serving after the timeout. Ball set outside, That's going to be just wide off of the hands of Doran Pop. Doran, the tallest player on the floor, coming in at 6, actually on the Creston side of the floor, coming in at 6'1". Missy Evzik listed here at 6'2". Klusman ready to serve again. Ball's going to be set middle. That's just over the hands of Ava Wagner, and that's going to land in for Creston point. Number 3, Caitlin Bruce into the game for J.C. Kralik. Caitlin Bruce ready to serve for the Panthers. It's going to be short. Side out point for the Saints. Georgie Bonet into the game. Lydia Sherrill going to take a seat. Ellie Monahan back to serve. 10-12, Saints trailing here by 2 in set 3. Monahan with the ace serve for the Saints. Again, Monahan has done a great job this year playing libero. Serve played by Cohen. Over the top, out of bounds. That's going to be a point for the Saints. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast tonight. We're glad to bring it to you. It's a little more exciting when you actually get to hear who is playing on the floor and who's hitting the ball at what time. Ball is back set. Monahan with the pass, and Klusman decides to take it over on the second hit. It's going to be roll shot, Georgie Bonet, Miller, and then it's going to be Caitlin Hendricks with the lefty. Down balling it over. Free ball, Klusman. Monahan over to Bonet. Big swing. It's going to be tight. Miller can't quite get up there. The timing was not quite right, and lands on the Saints side of the floor, so that'll be a point for the Panthers. Miller wants that one back. 13-12, Panthers lead here in set 3. Miller with the pass. It's going to be an ace serve for number 13, J.C. Hansen. And J.C. Hansen's the one that started this game, serving up a storm. Monahan to Klusman to Bonet, and that's going to be a miss hit, but it's going to be dug. That ball has to go over. Just tipped the net. Set outside to Miller, and that's going to be a kill for Miller. Into the back court, keeping it playable, keeping it in, but splitting the defenders. Ava Wagner's going to come out of the game. Kylie Wisak stepping in. Miller's going to go back to serve. Saints trailing by 1 here in set 3. Ball pass, set middle to Pop. Great block by Wisak, just wide, but great job on the timing to get up there and be present on that swing. Number 11 and number 12 into the game. That's Aaliyah Calvin and Cadley Bailey. Miller with the pass. Set outside, beautiful. Kylie Wisak over the block. I think she was over the block. I don't have a great vantage point over here. I'm looking over here at my silent partner. She's kind of shaking her head. Yes, she thought so too. So we're going to go with that. It looked like Kylie got up quite. She had hops on that one. So server is going to be Lily Crone, who just came into the game, as did Missy Evzik. Pop with the swing. Monahan Crone can't quite get to the net fast enough to keep that ball from going into the net. One of the things that it's so deceiving when you're a setter, and this happens all the way across the board, you got to get to the ball before it goes in the net. If you can't get to it before with your hands before it goes in the net, the odds are pretty slight that you're going to be able to get it out. It usually hits the bottom and trickles down. Ball setting outside to Kylie Wisak. Great cut shot by Wisak. I don't know if that was an errant hit or like if that was a miss hit or not, but if she intended to do that, that was pristine. That was such a great location and such a great cut. You don't have to hit it hard when you've got that kind of placement on it. Georgie Bonet back to serve for the Saints. Back set. That's It's going to be played up by Bonet. Crone sets it outside to Cheryl. Cheryl, good placement right inside the back line for the kill for Lydia Cheryl. All tied up here at 16 here in set 3. Saints up 2 sets to none in our 3rd home contest of the year. We only have 4, so make sure you're heading up here next Thursday if you want to see him play in person. Off the top of the block, out of bounds. That'll be a point for the Panthers. Hansen's going to move to the front. Number 10, Colby Bailey. Back to serve. Monahan with the pass. Crone to Wisak. Dug up. Played outside, it's going to be tipped. Crone to Monahan to Wisak, off the block and down for a kill for Kylie. Kylie, just such an athletic individual. She also plays multiple sports. Shortstop on the softball team. Got to have a mobile and strong player at that position. So Wisak serves to Pop. Sets it, Pops gets the set. It's a great dig by Wisak, keeps it playable. Set outside to Hansen. It's going to be a tip. Crone to Cheryl. And again, that's the 2nd time that's happened where the free ball's landed right in the middle of the floor there. Again, a new rotation. Got to work through some of that. Make sure that doesn't happen consistently. I'm sure Coach Lance will be all over that at practice tomorrow. Couple substitutions on the floor. Wagner into the game. Wagner actually passes that ball. It's an overpass. Great dig by Monahan. Good job by Crone. Missy Evzik gets it up in the air. Crone steps back in, sets it over. Gonna go outside to Hansen. That ball might not have gone over the net, but I guess it does. Miller puts it down, and that's gonna be out of bounds. Miller lets it go out of bounds. Again, Jeremy Petrie right on the call. I couldn't tell, but he made the out call, and they didn't overrule him. So point Saints. Klusman into the game. Hendricks into the game for the Saints. Klusman to serve. The ball set outside. It's going to be cross. Nowhere else it could be but cross court on that. Back set to Cheryl. Cheryl gets dug, and it's going to be a tight ball again. That time it's going to land on the Panther side. It'll be Saints point. 19-18, Saints lead by 1 here in set 3. Klusman to serve again. Cohen with the pass. Outside to Pop. Pop again, most of the night she's been a hitting machine. Timeout's going to be called by Creston coach Teresa Arkfeld. Saints leading 20-18 here in set 3. The scores of the first two, 25-14 and 25-19. Saints prevailing in both of those. Special thanks to Grace Julian and William Tallman for singing the national anthem tonight. It was a great duet. Fantastic. Love to see the participation. Mrs. Keenan got scolded by the R1 to get off the floor as she was taking pictures tonight, so I know she'll laugh about that, and that's why I say that. Always a part of the fabric of the students here. St. Albert is grateful for such an engaged faculty and staff in the student body. St. Albert, a great investment. Take a look at stalbertsportsfan.com or the St. Albert website, stalbertschools.org. Ella Klusman to serve. Set back to Pop. As I said, she's been a hitting machine, and this time Monahan lets it go out. I think there have been a couple tonight that probably would have gone out. That's probably one of the things that the Saints need to continue to work on, is just having that gauge on where they're at on the floor, knowing that if it's coming high at their waist or above, it's going to go out. Klusman back to serve again, leading 21-18. That ball's going to get passed over. Monahan gets it. Miller on the outside. That ball's going to go long. point Panthers. Number 3, Caitlin Bruce in for JC Kralik. Bruce is going to go back to serve. Panthers trail by 2. Going to 25 here in set 3. Miller with the pass. Klusman, middle to Hendricks. Hendricks gets dug, goes back. It's going to be free balled over. Monahan to Klusman, set outside. Oh, it's on a 3. That's a kill for Caitlin Hendricks. It's so gratifying for a left-handed middle to be able to hit a 3. It's like a slide for a right-handed player. Monahan back to serve. Passed up weak side. Oh, great cut shot by number 4, JC Kralik. Actually, I'm so sorry. That's number 9, Zoe Van Devender. That was a great kill and angle from her. Ball served and dug by Monahan. Bonet with a great cut. It was dug, set outside, off the top of the block. Klusman, Monahan, over to Miller. Miller off the block. It's going to get pushed to the outside. No go. It's going to stay on the Panther side of the net, and that'll be a point for the Saints. So Saints closing in on the end here, see if they can push 2 more points. Kylie Wiesek in for Ava Wagner. Miller back to serve. 23-20, Saints in the lead. That's going to be overpassed, and Hendricks with the bomb on the overpass. Point Saints. If you watch them and how fun it is to get excited about something like that, that is just a momentum changer for any team. So fun. 24-20, Miller with match point serve right here, and that ball's not going to clear, but they can still set it over. Klusman, Monahan, weak side to Bonet, off the block, played up by Cohen. Set middle, and that ball's going to be a lift call. You don't see that too often on the last contact, on the last point of a match, but nonetheless, these officials are great. They are at the state tournament every year, so I know, especially the R1. Not sure about R2, but I know the R1 is. Well, this is Terry Miller joining you from St. Albert Sports Fan, and on behalf of Alexis Narmi, my silent partner, and myself, we want to tell you thank you for joining us. Please join us again next week when we bring you the Atlantic game and senior night here on the Hill. So have a great weekend. Try to catch a football game, and